Broadcasting live from the Barbecue Central Radio Network studios in Cleveland, Ohio. You're listening to the Barbecue Central Radio Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Lampe.
All right, welcome back. Coming up on 14 past the hour, 877-448-0433. Greg at thebbqcentralshow.com. Those are the two ways to get in touch with the show. Don't forget, Survey Tuesday questions. Best cut of steak, lump, charcoal, or briquette. And who wins the NCAA basketball tournament? We will get those answers from our next guest coming up here in just a second. Don't forget, Big Jim Stansel coming up at 35 past the hour, so stand by for that. Now you know what we got to do, right? Oh, yeah, here we go. Bring it on. You know who it is. It's Dr. Barbecue, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah! Ray, what's up, buddy?
Hi, Greg.
How are you? Like we're back to Highway to Hell. Do you think we're on a Highway to Hell tonight or what?
Yeah, it's kind of like that.
Ray, what do you hate Jim Shaheen for?
Well, it's not that I hate him. His hair was a little rough, and he was kind of boring me. I was fired up to come out of the gate.
Ray, are you criticizing somebody's hair?
Well, everybody's got their own look. That one just wasn't for me.
There you go. All right. Ray Lampe joining us here on the show. He is a longtime guest and multiple-time author. He's the executive chef for Big Green Egg. He's been on television a number of times, all of this great stuff. Look, Ray, I wanted to get you on, and I was chasing you probably over the last couple of weeks because it was the very first Sam's Club event that took place this year. It was in Tampa, Florida. And you took third overall at that competition. I know it was a number of weeks back, but if you can possibly recount, that weekend and kind of how it went down for you. I mean, you've been in a lot of competitions. You've done this thing for a long time. How did it feel to get back out there and pull a third and be able to move on in a regional and this event or this tour, which everybody seems to be very behind?
Well, I mean, it's exciting. I'm a big fan of the Sam's Club concept in general. I like seeing people do different stuff. Everybody just wants to do the same old stuff, and I like it. I think it's exciting. Now we move on to the regional and maybe go to Bentonville at the end. Heck, with this kind of process, there's going to be a bunch of good teams there. I'm a big fan, so I'm happy to go out there. And yeah, of course, I'd like to be competitive, and I think I've cooked a little better the last couple of years, and qualifying is a big deal. And the other thing is that with the way they structured the money down here, it was not going to be a qualifier because we don't have a blanket thing. So third paid $1,000. Heck, that's just fine. Yeah, you always want to win, but hell, I got enough trophies. $1,000 in third place, move on to the next thing. I felt good about it.
Dr. Barbecue Ray Lampe joining us here on the show. Ray, your categories were absolutely fantastic. You had, you were third overall. You had the fourth in chicken. You had a ninth in ribs. You had a fourth in pork. So three. And look, it seems to be odd enough. I mean, I was just talking with Andy about it. For the people that win or the people that get second, third place, there seems to be three categories that you're in the top 10 with, and then you have one that just kind of falls out. Now, for you, it wasn't pork, it was brisket. And for crying out loud, Ray, I can't believe it. You were one of the inaugural members of the Brisket Roundtable. How the hell does that happen? You were giving out secrets years ago. How does this happen with a 13th place brisket?
That was a long time ago, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Gosh, I don't know, man. I thought that brisket was really good, too. I got a new friend in Creekstone Farms, and, man, I was really trying. I put a ton of effort into that brisket, and I thought it was great, and it just didn't have a good day. I like the format a lot, but you've got, I think they had 5 judging tables, and if there's one that's scoring a little lower, it's going to really have a big swing on the contest. If you've got 20 tables, a big contest in there, well, you get lucky and you don't necessarily hit every table, but you're going to hit 4 out of the 5 tables at the Sam's Club thing, and if there's a low scorer, you're going to get it, and the guy who doesn't get it is probably going to have the best day. It's just the nature of the game. That's how we do it. You can't feel bad about it. It's the way it goes. But it certainly was a good brisket. I'll make no apologies for the quality of the brisket I turned in.
Were you happy with the other three categories? I mean, obviously they did well with the judges. Three that were in the top 10, the fourth in chicken, the fourth pork, ninth ribs. Were they as good as the scores indicate? Did you think some were better and some were worse, or where did you fall out with those?
Well, I made no secret about this. I've sort of sold my soul, I feel, over the last couple of years. Well, not really, but I come from, I started cooking KCBS in 1991, and back then, everybody showed up with a cooler of beer and a couple heads of lettuce and some meat, and whoever could cook the best barbecue while they were partying won the contest. We didn't share our secrets with our best friends. We didn't share them because it was secret. You were making this rub at home. You were making the sauce at home, and it's just so different now. I'm not saying it's better or worse, but I resisted for a while there, and I wasn't doing very well for a few years, and I decided that I would just go all in. And I called in some old favors. There's a lot of guys out there I've helped over the years, and I really am doing the same old stuff, or whatever you want to call it, the modern day techniques on all this stuff. And so, am I proud of it? Oh, I like to think I did the best job of that same recipe that 100 guys are using that day. But, it disappoints me a little bit that we all turn in the same stuff every week and hope to get lucky and you get to win.
Do you foresee, and you talk to a lot of these guys, the Pitmasters out there, Ray, do you foresee that changing at some point? Is somebody going to venture out and potentially start to change that flavor profile? And obviously people are going to be trying to catch that person if they happen to win. Or is the risk too much still at this point? You're laying out for expense on entry fees and meats and travel costs that you don't want to stir the pot too much as far as flavor profiles are concerned to disadvantage yourself at potentially winning?
Yeah, absolutely, Greg. I think you hit it right on the head. That's what I did for a couple of years. I tried to resist it and do what I thought I liked better or what I like to eat better. And you hear a lot of cooks talking about, well, I cook what I feel like eating for the judges. Bullshit. You cook what you like. If you really like to eat that stuff, you're not eating the same stuff I am. If you're putting a bunch of Blues Hog on and you're injecting your brisket and soaking your chicken and turning in just the money muscle off of pork and all that stuff, I don't believe that that's what you really like to eat at home. I'm not saying you don't like to have a bite of it here and there, but I think it's contest food, and that's just the way it goes. I think you're right that it'd be really high risk to try and do different things. There's guys out there doing something a little bit different, but boy, it's rare you find a guy anymore that's making his own rub, making his own sauce, not injecting, not buying prime meat, not doing any of those things, not cutting the money muscle off like a schlong, and not doing any of that stuff and winning. It's pretty few and far between.
You say cutting the money muscle off like a schlong?
That guy at first just didn't say schlong once.
No, he didn't say schlong at all. Wow. Ray Lampe joining us here on the show. All right, so there are some things that we need to hit on here first before we get into some other non-outlined stuff. One of the things that we were talking about the last time is you have that new book coming out in April, that's Slow Fire, The Beginner's Guide to Barbecue. This was an effort for you.
Slow Fire.
What was that?
The product see the product placement on the shelf.
Oh yeah, look at that. Very nice. Very subtly placed, Ray. Very good job. Master marketer. This was kind of a labor. The thing was done forever. It's finally getting out to market. Have you gotten any advanced reviews on it?
Only from my family, because there's only 3 copies that I know out there. One guy at Green Eggs got one, and I got 2 here at home. And but I think it's beautiful. I really am happy with it. Chronicle is the publisher, and they just make beautiful books, and I think people are going to be pretty happy about it. I think it's a different kind of book. It's not the concept was that the hero books, as we call them. Gosh, there's enough of them out there. I've written a bunch of them, and so has every other barbecue guy. Matter of fact, I just got my copy of Wicked Q, and it's really an excellent book. But they really said, let's try to make it a reality check for a guy who might want to just learn how to cook barbecue and wants to kind of just learn how to feed his family and his friends and doesn't really care that you walk on water when it comes to barbecue contests. So I think it was a really good idea, and I really wrote it from that perspective all the way. And I think it's going to be well received, and it's really a good-looking book, too. I'm really happy about it.
All right, and that's going to be coming out in April, so we'll be on the lookout for that. One of the other things that you're going to be doing, and I think you've been going over, was it last year the first time you went over to England, or has that been a couple-year thing running now for you?
Yeah, this will be the third year. I'm looking forward to that grill stock. I guess 2 years ago I went, and the guy over there wanted to have a barbecue festival, John Finch, good guy over there. And,
yeah.
And so I went over with Big Green Egg. We had a new distributor that year, and we had a lot of fun and met a bunch of good people. And the following year, I offered him the opportunity. I said, if you'll just pay for my travel, I'll come and do everything I did last year as well. And I did, and we had a great time. And I've made a lot of friends, and there's great interest in real barbecue over there. The internet helps a lot, that's for sure. I'm sure there's some of the guys are listening right now, and there's really great interest in barbecue over in England, and I'm happy to be part of it. So I decided, well, I'm going to go do a cooking class. Well, I think everybody knows the story. The international initiative that seems to have gone underground didn't really have much going on. So I decided to do my own international initiative, and flight's booked, man. On April 28th, I'm doing a barbecue cooking class in England. It's going to be, I don't think anybody's done it before. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be exciting.
Do you have any type of prospective turnout for that?
Well, we put 30 max on it because I don't really want to do a big class. It's honestly, it's not about making money on this one. I really want to go there and kind of, if we break even, I'll be a happy guy. I know there's 20 paid as of right now, and there's a bunch more promised. I suspect we'll have 30 or close enough to it to make everybody happy. Like I said, it's really not about the big payday on this one. It's about getting over there and teaching some and helping the ball moving, get the ball rolling. There's a lot of interest over there, so we'll have some fun.
All right, so let me ask you about this, Ray, because I know you talk to a lot of people that are, in KCBS, board of directors, all this stuff. There was that big hoopla. Toby Shea was trying to get more teams down into the Jack Daniels, and he was trying to correspond with KCBS, and they were kind of giving him the shine on it. And then all of a sudden it's kind of died off a little bit. Now you're talking about going over there and doing a class, and you had mentioned that this whole KCBS initiative going overseas has kind of went underground. What the hell happened there? I mean, it was like a stir, it was a buzz, and then all of a sudden it's just kind of dropped out. Was this a lot of much ado about nothing? Was somebody off base or not understanding each other? Because here's what I thought. I thought Toby's idea was good. I mean, why not have teams that are coming over from out of the country be tasked to at least similarly qualify for the American teams? Because it's not fair, in my estimation, as somebody who's never competed and knows nothing about what the hell they're talking about, to have the American teams have to go through, winning a qualifying competition, and then you get your name pulled in, or you have to win so many during the course of time, blah, blah, blah. But the teams coming from out of the country don't have to do that. So what was wrong with trying to task the teams coming over from out of the country to at least be held to a similar task?
Well, it's about 4 different unique things, or more even, frankly. I don't disagree with Toby and wanting to try and do that, but you gotta accept the fact that this is Jack Daniels' marketing, and they sell that stuff all over the world. And I mean, I've been going there for a long time, and I mean, it used to be any international team that wanted to come was welcome, and we saw some crazy teams over the years. The stuff that went on was hilarious. I mean, we partied hard with the Jamaicans, and there was a French team and the Swiss guys. I mean, there was a Mexican team one year that you sliced their whole brisket up and made fajitas out of it on Friday night. And it used to be a rocking good time with all of that kind of stuff. And now the European teams or the international teams have gotten very serious. But I don't know. I think that if I was Jack Daniels, I'd still want anybody that can get it together, the money to come, if they are going to put some color and flair in the event and help promote Jack Daniels in whatever country it may be. Oh, come on. I say bring them on, let them still come. If I was Jack Daniels, that'd be my opinion. I understand Toby's point of view, because he's trying to make it a little bit more serious there in England, and I would like to see it be like it is And I don't blame him for that, but I just think that when I go to Jack and I see the German team and the Swiss team and the Mexican team and the Puerto Rican team and all those different teams I've seen over the years, I'd hate to see them be precluded because they didn't really win a qualifier. I just think that that's, it's two different things, I guess. But also the international initiative from KCBS, I don't know. You should try to get those guys on.
Yeah, you know by now that KCBS and me, for some reason, don't mix. I mean, it's actually been fantastic that I've been able to have Candy Weaver on as much as I actually do, because nobody would give me the time of day prior to her getting over on the board of directors and then presidency. We're talking with Ray Lampe joining us. drbbq.com is the website, at drbbq, the Twitter. Ray, look, you're a TV guy. We've seen Pitmasters. You're obviously somebody, I mean, you're probably not taking part in it, but somebody that can give us a good perspective on it. Are you excited to see what version 3 brings us? Are you over it by now and you'd rather watch, Gator Boys or Rattlesnake Poachers of Bigfoot, or what do you think?
No, I always like to see it. I've enjoyed every version of it. They're all different. It's kind of interesting to me. This really goes back to the first one we did. Remember that? Where we traveled around to different places, and the judges were Ed Royce and Bill Felder and Rocky Danner. Those were the old school guys judging, and we were cooking. And it's kind of the same show with a little bit more flair, and everybody's a little more polished than they were back then. That's for sure. There wasn't a whole lot of TV guys back then. I think that might have been the first time Myron was on TV with me swearing at the camera. But I love it. I always like seeing it. The more, the better. It's certainly good for everybody. Oh, hell, I was there cooking. I didn't cook rattlesnakes, but I cooked some lobsters and clams and stuff, and it was all fun too. I think any and all of it's good. I don't sit at home and I'm kind of living it. I don't like to sit at home and critique it all. Heck, that was fun. This might be a good version. I think it's a good U-turn. I think Tuffy will be good. I don't know. If you don't know, I'll be the guy to tell you. I saw pictures of it. Myron's judging right in the middle, just like when we did that. It looks just like the CBS show we did last year, with Myron sitting right in the middle with Tuffy and Aaron Franklin, a guy with a barbecue joint in Austin that's gotten a ton of attention. He had a barbecue truck, and he now has a restaurant there, and I was looking at his website the other day, claims he sold out of brisket every day the restaurant was open. Wow. That's pretty impressive. So those are the judges, and my best guess is they're going to rotate the teams, and I think it's probably going to be a lot of fun. I'm a big fan.
All right, Ray, so we got a couple minutes left here, and I do want to touch on a couple things. Kingsford gets a lot of heat for being the blue bag, and the briquettes suck, and blah, blah, blah. But they do show a lot of love and support to the barbecue and grilling community, obviously, because it's like their industry, right? So with this Kingsford Invitational, what do you think about them stepping up to the plate and getting some type of a sponsorship and promotion going on?
Oh, that sounds cool to me. You're going to take the best teams are all going to get invited. They're trying to schedule it so that everybody can come. Wouldn't it be cool to see the Jack winner, the Memphis and May winner, the Houston winner, and whatever the other 5 or 6 are, all just there, nobody else at the contest? Those are the guys probably going to be judged by one table. Oh, I think that's great. Those Kingsford folks are great, man. They dump a lot of money into it, but they come out and they hang with us, too. They really get it. They're part of the community. If you never hung out with them at the American Royal, there they are at Chris's booth. I mean, go have a drink with them. They're great folks, and I'm a big fan.
All right, and then finally, you're the corporate chef for Big Green Egg. You've had a relationship with them for years. Anything new and exciting that's happening with you and the folks at the ceramic cooker Big Green Egg?
Well, they got a new website that they launched a couple months ago, and we just shot a bunch of video for it the other day. We shot a bunch of still stuff for it the other day. There's going to be a lot of content on that website in the near future. The product is doing great. The product is, it's the best one on the market. The other guys everybody shoots at us and talks all they want, but the Big Green Egg is still the leader in the industry by far. Everything's great. Love them guys.
All right, let me ask you the Survey Tuesday questions before I cut you loose. Is that all right?
Yes.
All right, here we go. Question number 1, best cut of steak?
Ribeye. Happy dinner.
Gotta be. 4 for 4 tonight. If you have your choice, lump charcoal or briquette charcoal?
Always lump charcoal for me. I think that's the best fuel to cook with.
All right, and then question number 3. Who wins the NCAA basketball tournament?
You know what that means?
Yeah, it means you gave the wrong answer again. What's with you guys? It's going to be Ohio University. Nobody's going to give me the satisfaction of saying Ohio
Gators
University.
are going to win this.
All right, so we'll see if that happens to be the case. We're talking with Ray Lampe, Dr. Barbecue. Again, you can find him at drbbq.com is the website, at drbbq. The Twitter, he's on Facebook as well. Ray, always appreciate the time. Thanks for coming on tonight.
Anytime, Greg. Good talking to you.
All right, take care. There he is, the good doctor, weighing in on a number of things. Look, I don't know if he just said this or not. But did he just say cutting money muscle off like a schlong? What?